Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing my application presentation on Module 6, and more specifically, I'm going to be discussing the concept of bifurcation points. Now, bifurcation points, or a bifurcation point, is the point in a conversation where the response to a statement impacts the way the rest of the conversation progresses. What this means is that it is a crucial point in the conversation that determines whether this conversation turns into an argument, is a playful jest, or is just a meaningful conversation between two people. It is best to remain mindful in your conversations to be able to spot bifurcation points as they arise. So a time that I have experienced a mindful conversation where I was mindful enough to notice the bifurcation point is when I was speaking with my friend about some things that were going on in her marriage. Her husband had been gone for a while and come back. And when he came back, he had revealed to her that he had done some things that were outside of the vows of their marriage. She was very hurt by this. She was very shocked by this because she never imagined that this was something that her husband would do to her. So being her friend and caring deeply about this person, I didn't want to accept that this was happening to her. I didn't want her to be in a position where she would be hurt, where she would be lied to. But I could tell that what she needed from me at this moment was just to be supportive, to listen and not speak negatively about her husband. He had actually apologized to her. He had been really broken and really sorry, and they were planning on working towards fixing their marriage. So now that I've discussed the experience, I'm going to make some inferences. I could have very easily gotten annoyed with the way that she was being treated. I could have very easily spoken poorly about her husband. I could have acted like he was the worst person in the world, even though I may have actually felt that way in my heart. What my friend needed in the time was someone who was going to listen and be supportive, someone who was going to encourage her in this really dark time in her life. So now that I've made some inferences, I'm going to talk about how this situation can be transferred to other areas. Bifurcation points happen all the time in all of our conversations. An example of this can be seen really in any realm of your life, but today I'm going to be discussing how it can be seen in a professional setting. So imagine that you are working at a job where you have a direct supervisor, you have a manager, you're the employee, and it's time for performance reviews. Say that you get these performance reviews every quarter. So your manager comes to you and they tell you you've been doing a good job, they're pleased with your work, however, you could improve on your customer service. So at this point, you've reached a bifurcation point because you now have the option to choose, do I respond in a positive manner or do I respond in a negative manner? Do I act defensively and argue with my manager and tell them, no, I've been doing really well and that's must be a mistake? Or do you say, thank you for letting me know, thank you for making me aware of this, I will really work on this in the quarter that's coming up. Depending on how you take this comment, how you take this criticism, will determine the rest of the conversation. So say you argue with your supervisor may become irritated with you, and then there's a heated conversation where there didn't really need to be. But if you just take the constructive criticism and you accept it for what it is, and you move forward, then your supervisor may leave with a more positive opinion of you in the future times where he has to do or she has to do a performance review. So, in conclusion, bifurcation points are the points in conversations that determine the tone and the course of the conversation. They change the way our communication continues. Why is knowing about these important? I think it's important information to have because it helps you to be aware of what is happening when you're in a conversation with others and things get seemingly heated for no reason. When this occurs, you've reached a bifurcation point and someone in the conversation has directed the conversation in a negative way by responding to the bifurcation point in a way that would continue the conversation to unravel in this manner. Thank you so much for your time.